A few of the people who I have known in my lifetime are a little bit tired of the game that Robert Fripp of King Crimson continues to play. They realize when they knew me when I was 18, 25, even 30, that my love for King Crimson was very real. The rabbit in that band used their suasion and the impact they had brainwashing me before I went deaf, which is to say that the only music that's now in my psyche are these charmers. See that as a call to their nest. They depict people like me as moths who come to self destruct in the flame of their enlightenment. What we're dealing with here is a cynical shyster named Clinton who claimed with the coward Fripp that he could solve the puzzle of the Texas school book under the table. And they used mongerings from Clint Eastwood on High, for example. When they set me up with the woman I loved, her father was a barber, and they stage a barber incident on Air Force One. Not too many people remember, but it was a hallucination overlap of gobbler tactics. Now, Cory Booker, who I admire, made a point today being the day that Dr. King was done in. I've seen it. He quotes the Old Testament. I don't particularly like the voodoo of Old Testament stuff, you know. I don't think it should have happened. And people who were in the cult of Claymont, who were introduced to me by the Robert Fripp, used to say that it was inevitable. And when I argued with them, it's not inevitable that people who take the leadership for peace will be killed. One of them tapped his ears and grinned and said, I know you don't think so. And the charming way that they had of driving home, that they knew I was tortured. I knew that they were getting away with the fact that I was tortured. And it was becoming a parable for the nature of reality for all of them, was so typically Pittsburgh and King Crimson and those horrible people in New York like Louis Laffin, who said, if you're not a celebrity, you might as well be dead. What happened to Martin Luther King's dream is that we all assimilated it. So I don't really agree with Booker about what's going to become of his dream. We all assimilated it. You know, at least for my money, Vanessa Nakate is Atlas. She's the world's leader. And so I don't want to hear any more about it. But I've asked again and again who killed him. Why did they get away with it? It was because these shysters were solving that matter under the table. Nah. And how were they doing that? By aiding and abetting them, you see. Hillary said, if you're like me, sort of redheaded, you think you have the right to rub your pussy in anybody's face, and if they get vulgar about your virginity, you can accuse them of rape. And Queen Elizabeth said so too, yes. And pretty soon, they were raging in the jumping hole for Flame Over Africa because Flame Over Africa had somehow, by some twist of Louis's ankle, killed Princess Diana. Oh, how did that happen? Magic? Witchcraft. It had nothing to do with me, Penis McCartney. It had nothing to do with me that your stupid partner pretended that he got killed. And the evidence that that's what really happened is abundant. That you used the smoke and mirrors to cover for your hit on JFK, which was followed by the hit on Martin Luther King, which was followed by your hit on Bobby Kennedy. That's what really happened. And I'm going to tell people about it because I followed the indicators. There was a Martha movie that had a look-alike for John Lennon back in 1967 with his Japanese girlfriend in a gorilla outfit. Uh-huh. And that actress ended up in You Only Live Twice. Isn't that something? Who but Clint Eastwood, who sends me his smoking gun when Circe gets done in, said where eagles dare was used to call when doubles dare. That's what really happened. Double fantasy was an advertisement for their hocus pocus. That's what really happened. And I have found that Adolf Hitler's symbolism, pro Adolf Hitler symbolism, is in Ronald Reagan's wartime films. Yes, it is. It really is. And it was really made, Mr. Booker, with the man who invented the burning cross for the KKK. So you're in the Democratic Party. Let me give you a little bit of advice. I know you're not fond of taking advice from the low and downtrodden, from the insignificant people, from the white, from the people who disapprove, from the people with mental disturbance, from being tortured. And you don't want them to say that they were tortured. No, 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 no. Tortured is a special category of victim status, so you don't get that. But you want to hear you don't want to take the advice. No, you don't want to hear the advice. You're in the Democratic Party, sir. So when Tim Kaine steps forward and says, I'm more Reagan than Donald Trump, Tim Kaine, he's the Reagan man of the outfit. He knows that you understand what he wants from you. You say to him, Senator Kaine, with all due respect, why are you claiming to be such an admirer of the man who worked with the people who created the first use of the burning cross for the KKK and had pro-Axis symbolism in their World War II films? Can you answer the question, Mr. Kaine? Did you understand the question, Senator Kaine? Did you have trouble understanding it, Mr. Booker? Senator Booker, did you have trouble understanding the question? Do you need me to rephrase the question? Do you mean to say that the burning cross for the KKK was an honorary, the sacred, the African symbol, like the swastika is, right? Okay. That's all. Presidential sociology is a strange thing because they roll out the tanks in Guatemala, maybe not the tanks, but the illegal mercenaries, smuggling drugs and bombing harbors and selling Exocet missiles to the Iranians by way of a man named Gorbachev. You can do your fact checking on that. Yes, you can. You can do. No, 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 don't say no. You can do your fact checking on that. It's true. You really can. You can do your fact checking on that. You can do fact checking. His name was Gorbachev. Many people have forgotten him. hmm It's true. No, no, I'm not making it up. It's true. He sold Exocet missiles by way of Israel to the Iranians so that these creepy mercenaries could mine Nicaraguan harbors. That's presidential sociology. hmm Little people don't matter. See, you can step on, King Crimson can step on the face of a poet who's deaf, been deafened and tortured, and is barely getting by in any capacity that's meaningful, who admired them. And you, as presidential sociologist, can say he didn't lick their boot enough. He didn't lick their boot enough. They tortured him. They helped the people who murdered Martin Luther King have a barn burner. And Queerbait didn't lick their boot enough. And you can send in Tim Kaine and he'll say, because I'm a Reagan man, I know what Reagan stood for. Reagan stood for the burning cross of the KKK. He made his movies with the people who invented the first use of the burning cross for the KKK. Yes, huh? So that's what you stand for too, right, Mr. Kane? Yes, it is. It must be, because you keep saying you stand for Reagan. So that must be what you stand for. So we'll take it as a matter of faith that that's what you stand for. And why does Bobby Endo come up in David Duke country? Could it be that there's not enough for everyone, but the Confederacy has decided that they will include good blacks, mm-hmm, black oligarchs who know what's what and know who their real enemy is. Their real enemy is Circe Kennedy, and swastikas are sacred, the honorary, the African symbols. Uh-huh. That's what Tim Kaine thinks is pro-Reagan, and guess what? He's right. That is pro-Reagan. That's exactly what pro-Reagan means. So you get back there and tell us all about the joke that's been played on us, Obama. The joke is on us, right? The joke is on me. Don't say us, Jimmy Queerball. The joke is on Jimmy Queerball. Uh-huh. Some joke.